Kitten Bowl 2, home of the fast and the furriest. Get an up-close and personal look at one of our fuzzy contenders.
Andreas, what a touching piece. What did you think about that?
I wasn't really a fan of this Kitty Bowl. I don't really consider this news.
Now, moving on to something more substantial.
Thank God, this just seen from the Solicitor General's office, who have just hired a new junior attorney.
And with more on that, we're going to take it out to our field reporter, Megan, with a little bit more information. To you, Megan.
Good afternoon, Solicitor General Hussein. Thanks for having us here today. Congratulations on the new hire.
Thank you for having me. It's always a stressful process sorting through the applicants and deciding on the most qualified to take the position.
Well, I'm sure he's still one of the best out there. Before we get into your new employee, could you give our viewers a little insight on what it's like to be the Solicitor General?
Yes. As the Solicitor General, I decided what cases the federal government wants to take to the Supreme Court. I'm essentially a lawyer for the federal government. Interestingly, I have an office in the Supreme Court building. However, my office is part of the Department of Justice in the executive branch. As an advocate for the government, we decide when the government will file petitions for certiorari, which is an order from a higher court reviewing the decision of a lower court. Also, the government makes arguments in briefs and participates in oral arguments in the vast majority of cases it agreed to review on their merits. So sometimes we need to navigate between different federal agencies and cabinet departments to decide what the final government decision is. We also submit amicus briefs to the Supreme Court to weigh in on cases the Supreme Court might take on. Amicus briefs are basically essays filed to the court by someone who is not involved in the case, on which we give an honest assessment on why it is worth the court's time.
Interesting. Speaking of the cases where you represent the federal government, my news team has done some research and we have found that your office tends to have a winning advantage while arguing at the Supreme Court. Could you enlighten us a little bit on that?
Well, everyone wants to win, and our experience as replete players gives us a significant advantage over one-shotters, who are those who argue to the Supreme Court for the first time.
Intriguing. So the winning advantage is common for your office. The more research that we have come across shows that there's a new shift in the amount of wins that your office experiences. Could you explain that for us?
Well, the way the government works, there's a level of bureaucracy within the department that has to be dealt with. There is a balance of interest that needs to be addressed and considered as well. Even previously, this is a newer trend, and even previous research shows that this is a new recurrence. You have to understand that there are a lot of cases that come through our office, so we do our best to choose the best ones.
Is it true that lawyers who have more experience in arguing in the Supreme Court win more of their cases? Why do you think that is?
Because they know and understand the process better and how to conduct themselves properly.
Well, is there a level of experience that you seek when you're hiring your attorneys?
We want people that have experience regarding the Supreme Court. A lot of our junior attorneys actually work closely with the justices as law clerks. So I guess the answer to your question is yes, we do look for a certain amount of experience when hiring our new attorneys.
So what characteristics did you see in your new junior attorney that helped you decide to hire him into your office? What experience did you see in him that put him ahead of the other candidates?
Well, Bradley clerked under Justice Clarence Thomas, which gave him the experience in the Supreme Court that we were looking for. What put him above the others was his confidence in his work and his go-getting personality that made him a great candidate for this position.
Thank you for your time, Solicitor General Hussein. Now we'll take it to Bradley and interview him.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you don't mind me asking some questions about this exciting new venture. You've graduated from Harvard Law, and you've clerked under Justice Clarence Thomas, and now you have your hands on one of the most prestigious jobs an attorney could acquire. What is going through your head right now?
I'm grateful for this opportunity presented to me by the Solicitor General's office, and I hope to uphold the standards at which they'll hold me accountable. This junior attorney position is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'm going to use it to further my career.
So you're pretty confident in your future here at the office. That is definitely the confidence that the Solicitor General Hussein was talking about. As a new junior attorney, what do you expect for your first few months in the office?
So for the first few months here at the Solicitor General's office, I'll be filing briefs, doing a lot of paperwork, kind of like I did under Justice Thomas. I'll be looking over cases and helping decide which ones to take up to the Supreme Court, and then writing recommendations on those, with the added advantage of hopefully attaining the chance to speak in front of the Supreme Court justices. Gaining experience within the office is my main objective. Making an impression on the Solicitor General and moving up the ranks.
Very cool. Yeah, with the confidence, very impressive. Could you fill us in on the process of getting hired by the Solicitor General for this prestigious job?
Yeah, so the process was fairly vigorous. First off, I had to go to graduate law school, and get a good academics, which is always a challenge. Then I had to submit a cover letter and a statement of interest as to why I wanted to work in the Solicitor General's office, which my mom had written pretty much the day I was born. She said she knew I was special. I don't really believe it, but whatever, it'll work. After the paperwork, I was called and performed an interview with some of the office's assistants, where they asked me about my background in law and why I chose to become an attorney. They ran me through a bunch of scenarios where I had to decide whether or not I was going to take a case up to the Supreme Court, which was stressful, given the heavy weight of the circumstances. The final part of the application process was to submit a writing samples so they could see if I was an adequate and eloquent writer for them, which luckily I ended up being, and they called me up and told me I got the job.
Very cool. Wow, that is quite the process to go through. Well, thank you for your time, and we wish you the best of luck with your new job.
Thank you.
Back to you, Tyler and Andreas.
Well, that was clearly informative, but it's not as cute as I would have liked.
Well, not every news story involves cats. I thought it was very enlightening.
Well, folks, that's all we have for tonight. Thank you for tuning into Phone News. I hope you enjoyed our telecast. Please stay tuned. We have a brand new episode of America's Best Ukulele Player, which you just love it. It's like a little mini guitar.
Yeah.